Alright, so now that I finally have O5, it's time to make a tier list. So, now this is all technically my opinion, but I mean, some stuff, like, everyone can agree with. But let's just get started. So this is going to be a tier list about all the towers in Roblox SCP Tower Defense. And yeah, let's just get started. So, I guess we'll just start with D class. D tier, that's pretty obvious. Untitled Fox, lower than D class in my opinion. Such a slow fire rate, not good damage, worse damage than D class, technically. Okay, Stock Guide is going to be our first C tier because he is a pretty good starter tower. I mean, technically the best starter tower if you don't consider Hammer Down. But, decent fire rate, decent damage, decent range, overall decent. Alright, Coffee Machine. Would I put an A tier for now? Just the best farming unit in the game. Evo Village Jester doesn't come near it. Alright, next one. Dr. Gerald. B tier. Okay, Tickle Monster. It buffs fire rate, range, and damage in that order. And it's buffs in an area. I'm gonna put an A tier for now. Great support, probably the best one in the game. Okay, See No Evil. Okay, Hammer Down, that's gonna be our next B tier. Okay, Samsara. I haven't used this one that much yet, but an above average tower, but not average. So, it's gonna stay up there for now. Okay, Unevo Iris, considering they buffed her. And next one, Village Duster. This one is another good starter. He gets headshot crits, which deal pretty good damage actually. No place limit. It's basically just kind of a better Stock Guide in a way. Alright, Fire Eater. I think he's technically speaking a support, but above Iris, that's for sure. GOC Executor, A tier. He's just really expensive. Great DPS though, decent range. Actually wait, I think GOC should just straight up be here. Okay, Abel. It's gonna be below GOC. Probably better than Samsara by a little bit. Good lead. Gets stun immunity. Gets crazy damage once he gets 100 kills. Just an overall pretty good unit. Molerat, garbage. Just slows down. Nothing good about it. Jagger Bomber, I could be here. Decent AoE. Great damage against tanks. Pretty cheap. CI, turn kill. He only buffs periodically, so it's kind of useless in some points. Blood Hunter, I put an A tier for now. Great permadrain. When the enemies die, they explode. It's pretty good AoE. Night Setter, we'll go right there. He's really useful in events, but other than that, he's not like amazing. The only good thing about him is his AoE circle. Top of B tier though. Okay, Wanderer, S tier. Great like stunning capabilities, great base damage, really cheap. AoE poison spell's amazing, and so is the Death Beam. Everything about it is great. Right hand, I think I'd put it on the same level as Blood Hunter. Probably a little worse than him. Way too expensive in my opinion. But amazing damage, especially when combined with like Tickle Monster and CI and Professor. But just way too expensive, in my opinion. Okay, 343, S tier, but probably below Wanderer. Amazing AoE. The fact that he teleports multiple enemies now is amazing. Pretty good damage. UIU, I guess top of C tier. They can boost each other, and they actually deal pretty decent damage when you have like Tickle Monster. Really cheap. Spectre, really cheap crowd control. We'll keep it there. It's basically Jagger Bomber, but it deals... But it's not Jagger Bomber at all. Okay, so basically at max level it can hit enemies like... Okay, how do I explain this? So if it were to hit an enemy, right? It would hit all the enemies of that type to deal, I think it was half the damage, half or a quarter, one of those two. Which is really good for crowd control, not to mention that he's really cheap. Yeah, I'd keep him below Jagger Bomber. And he technically has stun capabilities. Nothing great about him, but he's decent. Scout Shaman, top of S tier, just amazing. It gets 7 units that do AoE damage. It can weaken enemies, it can insta-kill enemies. It's actually surprisingly cheap. Just really great. Winter Wonderland, so it can weaken, it can pierce, which is different than just regular AoE, and it can slow, and it deals 2 times damage at a range, like a far range. Now, considering we're not taking into the prices of how much they cost in the shop, but it is really hard to get 500 tokens, I would just keep it at S tier, bottom of S tier maybe, because the pierce is good and all, but he really doesn't deal that much damage. And even the double damage thing, that doesn't, like, that really just depends where he is. So it kind of just depends on the map if it's good or not, actually. Evo Sight Guard is... You guys are going to hate me for this. Top of A tier, and the reason being, he has no placement limit. He is super, super cheap. He has amazing, well, not amazing fire. He has the same fire as Sight Guard, I believe, but a lot more damage. Can stun enemies for a while. Technically has unit spawns. He's just a jack of all trades, really. Like, I literally beat Wonder's Library with just Evo Sight Guard and Blood Hunter. Okay, Evo Iris, considering they buffed her, I would say, probably like right here. She surprisingly has pretty good AoE damage. Like, it's technically like 200, hold on, let me. It's like around 100 damage over time, and the fact that it hits in an area, and she stuns for a good, like, 5 seconds, maybe more, and in, like, an area, so she's actually really good, and she has mimetic corruption, which basically takes the enemies that have mimetic and just gets rid of them. Evo Fire Eater. This one is way too expensive. I don't know why it's that expensive to buy it from the shop, but I'd say it's like, be right there. It has really good DOT and obviously DPS, and I think he also pushes back, and he has this like AoE firing, which is actually pretty OP. Professor is really good, but worse than Tickle Monster. We're gonna put it right here. So it buffs the towers for, I think, better than Tickle Monster, yeah. It buffs them for, I think, the max is 150% plus, so like, they get plus 1.5 times more damage. And then, you could just put all 6 of your professors on one thing, such as, like, 343, and then it becomes kind of crazy. And it's an active ability, so it's not, like, constant. It's constantly active professor, but I feel like the extra damage buff is like pretty crazy, but I wouldn't say it's better than Tickle Monster. 05 Council. This is now one of the best towers. It's like tied with Scarlet, but I would put it below Scarlet. Better than Wonder because I think it just has more DPS. It's basically 05. It used to actually be pretty mid, but now it's like one of the best towers in the game, which is good because it requires level 100. But basically it spawns units that deal damage, like they shoot guns, and his units actually deal a lot of damage. It's pretty crazy. It's just a better Dr. Gerald, but super hard to get and super, really, really good. I'm going to put it higher than Scarlet because, I mean, Scarlet just has so much stuff to it. And its last form, like the 05 Council's max unit, deals like 540 damage every 0.4 seconds, which is crazy. Which is, technically speaking, yes, more damage than Shaman, but I feel like Shaman just has more stuff to it that are helpful than 05. 05's like regular price, around the price of Shaman, like for upgrading and stuff, so that's fine. I think I'm pretty confident with this tier list. Yeah, I think this is fine. So if you disagree with anything, tell me in the comments if you want, I guess. But I mean, this is what I'm keeping it as it is for now. If I were to update this, it would be like at least 5 towers from now. But thanks for watching, and bye.